Hello and welcome back to the Only Fools Love Horses YouTube channel. A big week in the flat racing calendar to come. It's the July Cup meeting at the Newmarket July course. 3 days, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. We're going to be taking a little look into that, as well as the well-anticipated John Smith's Cup over at York on Saturday. We'll do a small review into what was a fantastic Coral-Eclipse as well. Gentlemen, fantastic week to be a racing fan. Harry, how are you in this fine evening?
Not bad, apart from it being wet. I've been out at work all day and it's just been throwing it down, so I'm not the happiest, but a couple of win easy talks today. I thought, well, we obviously we'll allude to it later on, but we nearly had the full house. But we didn't, it was not to be, but we got a little bit of profit. But how are you anyway?
I'm in good form. Anyone who has the bingo card out and it's the Ash Simmons new location for videos, they'll be in Clover already. I'm in a B&B room.
Is that a
bathroom? I know. This is the bathroom handle right there. So you were nearly very close there. No, but I'm in a B&B in Wales in Saundersfoot. So lovely little place in Pembrokeshire on holiday. But thought I'd catch the July Cup preview. Lee, rolling into the July Cup, Eclipse has already just gone by. A fantastic race and what a time to be a racing fan.
Yeah, it seems to never stop. These Group 1s, Falmouth on Friday as well, and then into the July Cup on Saturday. But like we say, is that there was a great Eclipse. Only 4 runners. We had Paddington against Emily Upjohn. The match, as it seemed, Emily Upjohn had to give plenty of weight to Paddington for the younger brigade. And look, Paddington come out on top. I did think it was a cracking ride by Ryan Moore. I did think he won the day, basically. Look, William Burke rode a good ride, but it just left it a couple of lengths off Paddington, and he was able to get first kick. West Wind Blows took them along, and Paddington played the cards first, basically. Look, it might turn around in form as the season goes on. In another season, it would be a different story. But yeah, good win and Paddington, and a good runner-up, I would have said, in Emily Upjohn.
Yeah, like I put our tweet out saying about sort of just what a cracking race it was. You know, like we do give it about, you know, big fields and in most cases it's correct, but like sometimes you can get a short field and it is a very good race, and that's what I thought the Coral-Eclipse was from really, you know, from the start to the end.
Isn't it? Cat and mouse.
Oh, it was something incredible. Like, obviously, I was on Emily Upjohn, you two were on Paddington, and like, although I lost, it wasn't like a case of you know, that's an annoying one. Like, yeah, maybe, you know, could have been a couple lengths closer and you know, it's all a bit if buts and maybes. I just loved the race. I thought the race was cracking, and Harry, it was a great watch, and you know, it just shows we've got 2 high class horses. Paddington, he's taken me by surprise. I wrote him off a little bit on the weekend. He's a proper horse now for Aidan O'Brien.
No, I think he's just cementing himself as one of the best 3-year-olds, not just in this country and Ireland, but also Europe and across the world as well. I just think he is just exceptional. The race almost reminded me of Surname and Altior at Ascot. It was kind of just, you know, the 2 runners. Obviously, I think in third, I think there was only 3 runners, wasn't there, in the Ascot? But you just kind of knew they were always going to fight it out, and you're just waiting for it. And as soon as West Wind Blows gave way to Paddington and Ryan Moore, you just knew, your eye was drawn to Emily saying, is she going to find? How much is she going to find? And I just think Paddington, despite the weight allowance, I think that's a load of nonsense as well, because he is a 3-year-old. Emily Upjohn's had, a season more than him. I think maybe 2 seasons more than him, actually, because Paddington's only been he's not even had a full year racing. That's the scary thing for me. And the way that this horse is progressing, he could be absolutely anything. He looks an absolute shoe-in for the Sussex Stakes, which I will be there. Me and Sam Hart will be there watching Paddington, and I just can't wait. It's so good when we have these horses. For one, it gets us talking. And 2, it's just so exciting, and brilliant result for Aidan O'Brien, who just continues to win so many bloody races. It's ridiculous.
I think it's sort of just testament to the race. You know, we don't really do the big race previews. We sort of just do our best horses that we liked throughout the weekend gone. But that was a cracking race, you know, sort of like Shishkin versus Nurgamen in the Clarence House kind of thing, you know, like a sort of like a 2-horse race. I think First Flow was in there as well, but sort of, you know, Shishkin caught Energumen that day. Emily Upjohn just about couldn't. And no, I thought it was a fantastic race, gentlemen, and a perfect way to sum up the racing. Just brilliant. I thought. Have no more superlatives to say about that race. We'll roll in, gentlemen, into the weekend preview. Now, it's not just exclusively weekend. We obviously have got a little bit of action on the Friday we're going to cover as well. July Cup meeting at Newmarket, always a favoured one for me. Very interesting runners coming out, and hopefully too much water isn't put on. I see there's going to be about 10 or 12 mil chucked on, so hopefully not too much and it stays good racing ground. But the first race we're going to look at is the Group 1 on the Friday, the Tattersalls Falmouth Stakes, Group 1 over the mile for 3-year-olds and above. Via Sestina, 2-1, going to the race. Jamie Spencer, George Bowie, Nashua, Holly Doyle, John Fady Gosson, 7-2. Remarky, 3-year-old as well in there. Rob Hornby, Rafe Beckett, 4s. Coppice in there, still at 7s for the Gossons as well. Prosperous Voyage, 8-1. Harry, I'm going to fire over to you first of all for the Falmouth. What do you fancy?
Yeah, Remarky for me, Ash, for Rob Hornby and Rafe Beckett. Now, looking at this race, you sent off 25-1, obviously against Tahira in the Coronation Stakes, who Tahira undoubtedly was a class act and probably a class apart, I'd say. But it's the way that this market is going, Remarky could actually be sent off the shortest price in her career. She was sent off 5-1 to win a novice stakes at Salisbury. She was sent off 7-2 to go to win the Group 3 at Newbury earlier this year, which she did so, which was a very good performance. And then went to Newmarket, was disappointed behind Morge, obviously, in the 1,000 guineas. But how many horses have we seen just you disregard the guineas form from this year? It was a bog throughout the whole weekend. And if you go, she went to Ascot, and it was a much better performance. Ground versatile. I think she has loads of things going for, especially with the weight for age allowance as well. So we've seen it before that these horses getting weight, it's you need to take advantage of them really. And I don't think she has to step up a lot to threaten the principles, because I think Via Sestina, listen, she's been very good, but she needs to back up. And 2-1 Skinny Nashua as well, I think, is a horrific price on what she's shown this year. I think it's a horrid price. And Coppice was obviously a non-runner. Was she a non-runner last week?
Yeah, weekend just gone.
Yeah. We were in the race, and Prosperous Voyage is in there. I'm kind of going through the whole thing, but Remarky for me. I'm actually really confident on this horse.
That's good to hear. You know, making use of the weight for age allowance. What did Prosperous Voyage did last year as well, winning the race, turning up again. Lee, what do you fancy for the opening Group 1, the Falmouth?
I fancy Remarky as well. I think she's got a good chance. Only just beat behind Tahira, like Harry says, but actually lost left foreshoe in that race. Had to switch out. I think with a clearer run, she probably might have got Tahira, to be honest. Also, like Harry mentioned, she gets the weight. She gets £9 as well for the likes of Via Vestina, and that's the horse to beat. Probably the right favourite. Jamie Spencer actually got a 6-day ban, I think it was, for the Group 1 winning the Curragh. Chopped a few horses off there, but won with a lot of merit, I would have said, and won easily. And look, she's the but I do think Remarky can come forward. Has been running on softer conditions before going to the Coronation, and then handled that good to firm. So again, like Harry says, conditions should be no issue to her. And I say the point of Harry as well. Nashua is a terrible price. Should have won the last day at Newcastle. Beaten probably by a good horse, but it was a Group 3, and she should have been winning that, I would have said. Ran the Group 2 at Sunclue, and would have come on for the run, but then the last day was a just kick it in the back of the net type of job, and she couldn't finish it. So yeah, not one for me, and that's how I've come on Remarky. I think can go and win it. One
thing I would say is Al Hussein, who obviously beat Nashua, I think is a different horse on the all-weather than is on the turf, and I think that's what Nashua has going for her. She's stepping back onto turf with that run under her belt. Obviously, she wasn't quite right at St. Cloud earlier on in this year. If she's back to her best, she's going to be a tough nut to crack. But what she's shown this year is not the same Nashwa, I believe, than what she showed last year. So she needs to step up even more. And with the likes of Remarquis on that upwards trajectory, the same as Via Sistina, you'd have to think that 72 is a criminal price.
I agree on the Nashwa and the fact that I maybe she is a bit of a short price, but it always does scare me when these these big operations supplement a horse when you don't really think they're going to. I suppose Brad Sell was the one for me just gone in the King's Stand. Like I couldn't have Brad Sell if with your money, Harry, and it's
that's saying something.
Yeah, it's gone on one at Ascot, having been supplemented, and they've supplemented it here back onto decent ground on turf. It could spark a little bit of progression, but you don't know that until the day. Klaxon time, because we all fancy Remarquis. I'm on it as well. Look, there's a case to say, like Lee said, that she could have beaten Tahira the last day with a clear run, lost a shoe. She gets £9 from Via Sistina, who is a very, very good horse. But I feel like just could, Remarquis start the season off the pace at Newbury. Via Sistina will be doing the same. You could see a case of Remarquis stalking Via Sistina and picking off late. And, you don't know how Via Sistina's come out of the race. You can assume only well because George Berry's sons turn around 13 days after winning the Pretty Polly. But, I think I like Remarquis here. And she's going to be a strong bet, I think, because she gets that £9. She's making use of it. We saw it last year at Prosperous Voyage, and it really could be an interesting one. And hopefully she goes and does the business in the first race that we're looking at as a bit of a klaxon. We'll move on then to the Saturday, gentlemen, the Superlative Stakes, of a cracking card across different meetings on Saturday. But Superlative is the first group race we'll be taking a look at for 2-year-olds over 7 furlongs. City of Troy tops the market 6-4 for Aidan O'Brien, having won nicely the last day. Great Truth jocked up is William Buick for Charlie Appleby's runner 5-2. Mountain Bear for Aidan O'Brien again 6s. Hartem 7s for Richard Hannon. Bigger prices about the rest. I don't really fancy one this one. I found it a tough race, but Lee, you have won a fairly nice price for this one.
I just thought Hartem was overpriced. Had won at Bath, had went Epsom, almost fell out the traps, come home well, end up third. Didn't maybe get the clearest as runs. Then went to the Coventry last time out, ran 5th, was outpaced, stayed on well over 6 furlongs. The step up to 7 furlongs, I think, will suit. The Haddons have won this race before, and Richard Haddon's currently on 17% in the last 14 days, 11 winners. I just think that Coventry run was a solid run, only beaten 2 3/4 lengths behind Tiber Floor. Bucanero 30 was 1 length behind Tiber Floor. That horse went on to win the Group 2 Railway Stakes at the Curragh, beating a couple of Aidan O'Brien horses. So that form's solid form, I think. And to be only beaten 2 3/4 lengths when being outpaced over the 6 in the Coventry, I think is good form. And yeah, look, to go to the likes of Bath and Epsom and Ascot, it takes some metal, I would have said. And Hartem 7-1, I think, is a good each race price.
Yeah, we were discussing this off camera. I swear I saw the horse going somewhere else, but they've obviously taken out of that, and it's going to go. Well, you can only assume going to go for this race, having been this is the first target for this horse on the upcoming entry. So hopefully gets a run. 7-1, lovely price. Harry, what do you fancy in the Superlative?
Well, I've come down on the favourite at City of Troy just on, and I'm reading over my notes now from last night. From what City of Troy showed at the Curragh last time out, it was very good. But it wasn't actually what happened during the race. It was after the race. You couldn't put Ryan Moore is an exceptional jockey who just could not pull this horse up. And the post-race comments, I'm just having a read through again just while you were talking, Lee. These are frightening, and I mean frightening. I mean, I'll just go through a couple of them. Brian said going to the winning post, he just started to get longer and longer in his stride and galloped down to the boards. He gave him a lovely ride. He said it's the first time he's ever rode a 2-year-old. That's obviously Ryan Moore, and that he thought he wasn't going to pull up. He added that Ryan Moore said you can go anywhere you want with him and go as far as you want. Now, for me, that just it's kind of frightening when a powerhouse is saying something like that from a performance at the Curragh in a maiden. I was really taken by it. Obviously, from Justify, as well out of the Together Forever is the mare who obviously Bertinelli is a full brother, I want to say, to the horse.
You're correct.
So listen, it's a classy family. I think the 7 furlong is going to be the minimum this horse will go. 100%. I don't think they'll go up to a mile with him this year. I think they'll take it. Wait until next year. I mean, he's 16-1 for the Guineas or something like that. It's ridiculous for next year. So we'll see. But a City of Troy I think 6-4 is a cracking price. If he gets declared, there is no way he gets sent off odds against. No way.
If he's anything like his brother, he's going to be a lot better with time. From what Aidan O'Brien's been saying about Bertinelli, he sort of said after Newbury win, London Gold Cup, that saying this horse shouldn't be doing what it's doing right now and should be getting better with time. So if City of Troy's doing this for 2 years.
Just on that, there was literally a line on Bertinelli that Aidan mentioned saying, obviously we had his brother last year, Bertinelli, and he was a very big horse who we thought was going to be a 3 or 4 year old. But this horse, City of Troy, is made like a 2 or 3 year old. So he's only a smallish horse, but his stride is kind of like Bertinelli. You know how Bertinelli makes up that ground?
Yeah, he's a big old horse.
Yeah, exactly, with the length of his stride. I think City of Troy tries to do that, but he just hasn't got the body to do so. So it'd be interesting to see, but City of Troy for me, mate.
Trying to keep up with his older brother, it seems. Nice case there made for 2 horses that are definitely on my agenda, but it's a no fancy race for me. We'll roll into the Bunbury Cup. Nice, interesting handicap at the July course on Saturday. Fingers crossed you can get a couple of fancies for the race. 42 entries, so I'm looking already. Only 20 get a run. Now, Croupier is topping the market at 7s. I read somewhere that the horse is out for the season or missing the race. I think. Yeah, that's correct. So ignore that if you're having a little look at the race or a bet in the race. Out for the season. Awal topping the market then at 8s. Bless Him 10s. Montasib at 10. Streets of Gold, the same price. Biggles at 12s. Bigger prices about the rest. Leo, fire back over to you. What do you fancy in the Bunbury Cup?
Not a strong fancy. It's a very tricky race. You'll probably get plenty of places on the day. Worth having a couple of stabs at the bigger prices each way, I would have said. I've come down on Probe. 1 off 90 at Newmarket on the other course. A few runs back there. It beat horses that are interlinked with form. There's plenty of winners come out and mixed form lines in between. And I just like the profile. Ryan Moore actually rode it the last day in the Wokenham and basically left at the start. Didn't get the best of runs. And if you can forgive that run, 25s is a big price. It's now up to a mark of 97, but it won so easily the first time and it beat the right horses, I would have said. So I forgive the last run where it got left at the start and massive price for Probe. I would give a shout to Awal. I think Awal's probably the right favourite. Sorry, I thought you were going to say I think Awal's the right favourite. 3rd in the Royal Hunt Cup behind Jimi Hendrix and Sonny Liston. I think ran a solid race, probably the right favourite, but Probe's just big price each way.
Yeah, massive price, 25-1, so very big price about that horse. Harry, what do you fancy for the Bunbury?
I'm just trying to see if Chelsea Thoroughbreds have got a runner in this, because they had the 1-2 obviously in the in the Royal Hunt Cup. Obviously, at Lee, you've just mentioned Awal was 3rd that day. I think it's worth noting that so many of the high drawn horses in the Royal Hunt Cup actually came to the fore, and they were there fighting out the finish. And Jimi Hendrix, just looking at it, I think you can upgrade it because he was drawn in 7, and compared to the rest, it was some performance. But Bless Him is the one that I came down on just because it's going to be a Spencer special. It just is exactly like last year.
You'll need the Lord to help you.
Yeah.
He needs blessed.
Yeah, he needs blessed. That's a good one. I'll give you that. But it was actually a better performance than when he came into the race last year. He went to the Royal Hunt Cup and he was 8th or 7th. He then went to the Royal Hunt Cup this year. He was 5th. He was only beaten 4 lengths behind Jimi Hendrix, who was 9 lengths behind at Newbury. So the horse is on the improve again. I think off 103, off an unchanged mark. I think that's definitely worth noting. He's only £2 higher than last season. It doesn't matter where he's drawn because he's going to be dropped out the back of the TV. You won't see him for 3/4 of the race. And if you do see him in the final quarter, you know you've got half a chance because Spencer's definitely going to come with a late and fast run. And I think, yeah, he's definitely worth 10-1 each way, I think. And another one I would mention is Ropey Guest, second in the race last year. Disregard the Ascot run last time out. I thought it wasn't beaten that far. How many hard luck stories can you see at Ascot? It was a good winner at Goodwood on his penultimate start. So I think at 25-1, dropped down, well, off the set of only £7 higher from his penultimate start. He's got a decent each way chance as well. But bless him is for me, but he needs blessed in the words of Lee Gibson.
That was a special win last year. I thought as a proper Spencer special. That like if you could describe a Jamie Spencer win, that was it. I remember watching it in the pouring rain, watching Evesham United of all football teams, the non-league specials, and seeing Jamie Spencer do me on the line. That was absolutely fantastic from him.
If you ever get chance, and if anybody ever gets chance, watch Bless Him win at Newcastle. Jamie Spencer. That was some raid. He always has the same type of raid, I'm afraid. But yeah, sometimes it pays off and sometimes it doesn't. But it did on Cardiff, if you remember.
Yeah, that was definitely a nice one. I think it's off to the races. Elliot, working for Sky Sports, he did a thread on Jamie Spencer specials, and that is, if you have 5 minutes, go and find that thread, and it's an absolutely superb thread just to see Jamie Spencer just like laughing all over races, left, right, and centre. As much as I'd like to put Jamie Spencer here, I'm going to go for the Eve Johnson Horton runner in Streets of Gold. 3-year-old hasn't won this since, I have it on my notes here, 1998, which was Ho Leng. Back all those years ago, and I'm backing a 3-year-old here, so it's obviously not looking well for me there. But look, this 3-year-old's raced 8 times, winning 5 of them, so he's a battle-hardened 3-year-old. If you want a handicap at York, August 2022, off a mark of 92 on decent ground, although some of his form comes on soft stuff, he has got that good to firm form in his book. He ran a very good race in the Jersey when we last saw him, went third to Asia Kings, who won the race, who is a very good horse in his day, and bought for 1.1 mil guineas by the lads. And he gets an £8 weight for age allowance in this race. His official mark is 109, but he only runs off 105 in the Bunbury Cup because it's an early closer. So he's technically £4 well in on that alone, and then gets £8 weight for age allowance. So he's effectively running off 97. I know the weight for age allowance is there for a reason, but that is effectively what he's running off if he was older or anything like that. So yeah, I like Streets of Gold here. He's very close to a nap. I know it's a difficult race, a very, very difficult race, but I really like him here. He's a battle-hardened 3-year-old, and he gets all the allowances, and he looks like he's going to the race. I think Charlie Bishop is already booked on the horse. Let me check. No, he's not. So hopefully he goes to the race, but there has been money for it anyway. So fingers crossed he is going. But there's our fancy scrolling across the screen, and 3, I think, nice cases made for them. We'll go in then to the highlight race of the weekend. The race the whole meeting is named after, the July Cup, obviously won last year by Alcohol Free. Good knowledge there. A race Frankie Story has yet to win. He won't be able to win it this year because he is sat on the subs bench. Yes, he is banned. But Shaquille is in there, 15-8. Julie Camacho, last seen winning the Commonwealth Cup in fantastic style under Oisin Murphy. Azure Blue hasn't been seen since beating Highfield Princess in the Duke of York Stakes back in May. That's 3-1 for Michael Dodds, Paul Morenon. Kim Ross, 6s. William Buick, Rafe Beckett. Little Big Bear has drifted out to 6s as well. He's 50-50 to go to the race. I'll go back over to you, Lee. You like the same horse as me in this for the July Cup.
Yeah, look, I just think Shaquille won so well the last day, beating Little Big Bear. Like you say, is probably not going to run. There's ifs and buts about that one after slight setback. But the horse we had up in as the stalls come out was last, even at the 2 furlong pole. Sorry, two furlongs into the race was last because of the start that the horse got. Pulled like a train and still managed to win well, I thought. Actually gets £3 from the filly Azure Blue, who was probably the most likeliest danger. But I just think Shaquille won so well last time out and can double up in the Group 1s.
Yeah, like, I thought the horse was stunning in the Commonwealth Cup. I put it up, but in the back of my head I thought, Little Big Bear wins this, and Shaquille runs in close, so I had to chuck in both. And look, the 1-2 was there, but like Shaquille was just incredible, and I can't get out of my head James Doyle being unable to pull this horse up until the 1 mile. I think it's nearly the 1 mile 2 start at Newbury when he won the Carnarvon Stakes. I just can't get that image out of my head. Just like Noble Style pulling up on the bend, and this horse just absolutely running around, not being able to get pulled up. And I didn't fancy Shaquille that day. I fancied it at Royal Ascot. I fancy it for the weekend. I think I'm going to keep it simple. I like him, and I think he's a fantastic horse. I would have probably chucked up Lazoo, but I've just read a Racing Post article which says that they're maybe unlikely to go to the race with Lazoo, and their connections are probably going to side with Kinross as their sole representative, which would be a shame because I think Lazoo's a fantastic each way price at 16s, getting the 3-year-old allowance, getting the fillies allowance, getting all of the allowances back to 6, decent ground. I would like Lazoo in this, but it's Shaquille all the way for me. Harry, I think you feel the same about Lazoo, but you've gone for an owner mate instead.
Yeah, you'd have to go. You'd have to give Lazoo a little squeak just on the back of what she did towards the back end of last season. She was very good. Obviously, Frankie won on her over course and distance. I think it was Frankie on top. It was a good. She actually beat Morge, if I'm right. Oh no, I think actually the Morge beat Lazoo here.
Yeah, you're right.
And it was.
Morge
I
beat
think.
Lazoo,
Yeah. Yes. But Kinross. Listen, I think Kinross is definitely a worthy replacement, especially if Lazoo doesn't go. It was only 5 lengths behind Cardem. She beat Pogo, New Energy. She got some good form. He's got some good form, I should say. So,
Did you not want a bit of cut in the ground or not?
I wouldn't. I don't know, because he's won a good to firm at York. He's won the Group 2. I can't think of what race it was now. It was the race where Pogo was in there. City of York. It might have been.
City of York Stakes. Yeah, you are on the money.
Yes, and that was a decent race. You look who's in there. Sacred was in there. Alsa Hale, decent horse on his day. Art Power, we know, picks up group races over in Ireland for fun. Maybe not the same force as he is when he comes back over here. But I'll tell you what, Ash, I'm going to give you one at a massive, massive price as well.
Oh, here we go. He's just found this on the fly, hasn't he, ladies and gentlemen? He's had a darts ball behind him. He's found one. Go on.
He honestly, wherever Brad the Brief goes next time, I'm interested to see where he goes, because he's currently 80-1 for this, and from the way that the race panned out last time at Newcastle in the Chip Chase, that form is working out brilliantly, because Spycatcher came out at the weekend and won a group race over in France. And when I say won, absolutely pissed in.
It was an egg and spoon race that it wasn't, though. Like.
Doesn't matter. Backed up the form. Decent horse. Tiber Flow obviously ran well at Sandown. I think was third in the
egg and spoon race the weekend. Yeah,
it wasn't an egg and spoon race. I think you're being
come on, they were horrible in behind there.
But listen, he's actually entered for a listed race at Chester on Saturday as well. And if he goes there,
look,
the chips are down.
Go to Chester because he'll have no chance in this.
But no, I'm not writing him off if he does go. I think it'd be worth a few pennies.
Viewers, save your money. He's going to Chester.
But no, Kinross is probably my main play as well. But having to give away it's not going to be an easy task, is it?
It won't be an easy task for sure. Cardem's in here as well, being supplemented. All the right horses.
No chance. Absolutely no chance.
I was told this when I mentioned him at 80-1 for the race.
Oh well, the game has gone. The game has truly gone. I've shown you this. How Cardem won that race last time out in the QE2, there is no way that horse can back it up. No way.
Oh, no way is a strong.
But you know
statement.
what? That makes the difference. So Spencer can't raid on Saturday onwards, I believe, as well. So you can raid on the Friday. I don't think you can raid on Saturday. Is that right?
I saw a post. I saw a post going on. I can't remember who's riding the horse now.
I haven't seen who was going to raid yet, but I just know he's probably a good key to Cardem. He often rides for Victory here in them colours, the pink colours anyway, but that type of raid probably suits Cardem in that type of race.
Would Jim Crowley not be riding? I mean, you'd imagine he rides quite a bit.
I haven't seen who's gonna raid, to be honest, but I just know Spencer's banned from the Saturday. That's right.
It can't be Jim Crowley because he's booked up for Ascot.
I will find it somewhere. There's a post. We'll talk about one more race after this, and I'll find it and tell people. But I'm sure everyone knows anyway. But look, he had all the right horse in behind, and if Cold Case gives a lovely run into the race, which I have as sort of the pace angle, you can see Cardem picking them up late here, and they haven't supplemented the horse for no reason. Obviously in fantastic form. I give him a squeak at 11s. Lovely stuff, gentlemen. We'll then fly into the final race there. I just teased the John Smith's Cup Handicap, heading over to York for it. A very, very well-anticipated handicap there. A tough one to find the winner in, but hopefully we can give it a good stab at least. See the Casper 10-1, Sonny Liston and Spirit Dance at the same prices. Amleto 11s, Noble 12s, Harry, John Smith's Cup. Very quickly, what do you fancy?
Pride of America, is just a little stab for a betting interest. Nothing that I'd be diving into because it's so wide open. Brilliant race to watch. Amy Murphy's been flying this year, so I'm willing to side with this horse who's got some decent form in the book as well. And if backing up his form from Chester, where obviously he had I'd say a fair decent horses in behind that day. It was challenging enough handicap, having to give way to many in there. So I think if only £4 higher, he could be a little bit interesting. We know Amy Murphy likes to use the claimers as well, so that might negate the claim.
Rob Hornby, that was it. He won it last year, and he's going to try and win it this year at Cardem. That's who's on Cardem.
Good luck to him, I'd say.
Thank you very much. Nice fancy there, 33-1 about Pride of America. Lee, very quickly, the John Smith's handicap, anything taking your fancy?
One of my stronger bets of the weekend, I would have said, Fearlack, 40-1, massive price.
How weird, man.
I know how it was actually, speaking of how it ran second last time out in the Vars, the consolation race for the Northumberland Plate. Stayed on really well. It's actually only been beaten ahead over 1 mile 2 at York as well. In the past, not many starts for Jim Goldie, who's on a 20% strike rate in the last 14 days. So he's on fire off 86. I think he should come there swinging. And William Pyle is taking £7 off the horse's back as well. He's jocked up for the raid, and I think 40-1 is a massive price. Feel like that one.
The money's already down. It's 33s, Lee. The money's already flying.
Not to encourage to back with a certain bookmaker, but I did go on the exchanges and he was 48, so maybe he's 48s and 44s I think I got, and he's coming in price anyway.
Bit of win
talking
only,
of the exchanges, Mimikyu, I said the play slay of the day on Saturday.
I thought she was going to get for a second.
Told you, she doesn't want to win. Doesn't want to win.
The Shrewds money on the place lane in the queue. I'll give a small shout. It's not a small shout. It's a fair shout, actually. Astro King. Jockey's already booked up. Who's already jocked up? If I scroll on the racing post, it will tell me. Tom Eves is already jocked up on Astro King. Obviously formerly with Sir Michael Stout, was fourth in the Royal Hunt Cup, I think last year, 2022, off 102. Did nothing in this year's Royal Hunt Cup, but a bit of a mess of the race Royal Hunt Cup this year. And then was fourth, I think, second in the race the year before in 2021 off a mark of 98. Was well backed 2 starts ago at York on first start of the season. Was well backed from like 20s into 11s, and then made a massively eye-catching run where had no run. Last off the bridle was Richard Kingscote, and then finally made a way through. The stick wasn't drawn. It was a hands and heels ride. I think they actually called in Richard Kingscote to ask him basically why he was sort of hands and heels to the line. He said he had no run, and by the time the run came, there was sort of, wasn't going to get any closer than he did. But I thought if with a clearer run, he could have seriously gone places there. Ran to a lovely, lovely level. Still on that mark of 99, although he is officially rated 98. So it's technically running £1 out wrong at the weights, but it's only £1 there. And I think he's got a fantastic chance here. The money was down, obviously, at York 2 starts ago. That's a good indication to me, saying that this horse is in good form on a winning mark. I'm going to go Astro King at 16-1. Gentlemen, anything else or naps? Throw it over to Harry. Anything else, if not a nap?
In the 3:45 at York, the Silver Cup, it was a brilliant race.
It's on Saturday.
It is on Saturday, mate. Yeah. I'd be taking on Hamish at the prices just because if the ground dries up and the horse is currently even, so this market could just look extremely eye-catching. You 5-1 the field, Tashcan. I think Yashin was a very good winner, beating Point King in the Levmos Stakes. Obviously, Dawn Rising was in third. Obviously, Dawn Rising then came out and won. Akita Sushi was in fifth. That horse came out and won at Royal Ascot. I think I've had a few quid at 6-1 on Saturday. Regional fan favourite of mine because he actually delivered the goods when he beat Equilateral at Haydock last time. I think he's a horse on the up, and Callum Rodriguez gets on really well. So those two would be the other two. Do you want Naps or?
Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it.
Aidan O'Brien's horse in the at Newmarket on Saturday. City of Troy. I think this horse won't be odds against come the off if he gets declared. So I know it's short, but a short winner is still a winner, isn't it?
Very nice. Lee, anything else or Nap?
I think Silky Wilkie can turn over regional in the 235 there at York on Saturday. I do
taking each other on. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think Silky Wilkie absolutely flew home in the dash. Didn't get the best of runs. Has been improving all season. Had been running it off higher marks than regional and handicaps. And Carl Bick's in really good form. I think Silky Wilkie might turn regional in that one, but no strong fancies. And I'm going to go balls deep. I'll go Phelan 40-1 as my Nap in the John Smith's Cup. I really do fancy him.
Oi, I like it a lot. Anything else for me? And also, I like taking on Harry as well. Really good pick from you.
Well, listen, last time you took on regional with me, lads, look what happened. So.
That's been your only winner this month, Harry. So fair play. If you're going to keep going on,
I had a winner today, so piss off.
I go into the Bet365 handicap on Thursday. Two horses I want to very quickly mention. Frankness at 8-1 is going to be one that I'm going to be mentioning. Very decent horse, and I think on a nice workable mark as well. The Bet365 handicap is the 3 o'clock on the Thursday, just after the July Stakes, the Group 2 for 2-year-olds. Andrew Boulding trains the horse, has another in the race, but Callum Hutchinson is chalked up, £3 claimer on board. I thought ran a very decent race at Ascot last time out. And it's probably better than the finishing position suggests of 6th. Having won the race before that at Goodwood over 6. Obviously, that run at Ascot was over 5. Returns to 6 now on decent ground. I think Frankness at 8-1 can give you a run for your money. Same race, though. I do also think that Redemption Time has got a bit of a squeak there for Clive Cox. Nice horse, this 3-year-old. Got some really good 2-year-old form, went through it. Ran in a race, where is it now? Ascot 2022 in May. Was running a race, won by Noble Style, was second was Wallbank, third was Redemption Time, fourth was Royal Scotsman. So all of those horses are very, very decent horses, are going to be very decent horses. Then won at Bath the next time out on very good, on decent ground. Then 3 runs where it's fairly middling runs, and then this season a good third at York, and I'm staying on 6th behind Quinault, who does reappear. Obviously gets a little bit of swing in the weights. Hasn't been seen since June 17th. So a nice little 26-day break. I think Redemption Time has got a very interesting chance at 25-1 under Ray Dawson. And my Nap, I mentioned it earlier. What was the horse? It was Streets of Gold in the Bunbury Cup. That's all we've got time for. Before we finish, we've got a little competition running. Now, not a little one, it's a massive one. We had a big competition just gone by, and we've got another competition going on now. I'm going to stop talking about it. I'm going to roll into myself talking about it with the 2 lads and our special guest about the competition. Yes, that's right. We got competition time. Now, we gave away a share in a horse just recently, as you can see in the top right of your screen. Cameron Sword of Corac Rambler fame, obviously Grand National winner with Lucinda Russell. Cam is on with us to give away some shares in his new racing syndicate, Claymore Racing. Cam, first of all, how are you?
I'm good. Still quite can't believe what happened in April, but yeah, it's been good.
And obviously, you started this on the back of it. It's a fantastic thing. It's going into this season with a new horse. Just want to go with the competition first of all. What have we got to give away to lucky entrants and lucky listeners of the Only Fools Love Horses podcast?
Yeah, so I set up Claymore Racing off the back of the Grand National, went to the Cheltenham Sales and picked up a nice 4-year-old gelding out by Malinas, half brother to Mighty Thunder, who won the Scottish National for Lucinda. And we're giving away 3 shares, which last a year in King of Answers. And with each share, we'll be giving away a cap as well.
That's fantastic competition. And, you know, we've got Claymore Racing itself. You've got a fair amount of shares going into it. It's a big project. How's that been going for you in the last few months after the Grand National? Yeah,
it's been good. I've had lots of help. And obviously, it was the first time I've ever gone through the process of buying as well. So I'm learning as I go, but it's great fun. And it's brilliant to see so many people get involved and speak to people about their experiences in racing as well. So, yeah.
How can people get involved if they don't win the competition, Cam?
Yeah, so if you head over to our website, www.claymoorracing.com, you'll be able to read all about the story in the Grand National and kind of how it came about, and be able to read up about kind of what we do. We've partnered with the Retraining of Racehorses charity, so we're donating a portion of the share to them as well. And obviously the horse is going to be with Lucinda Russell and Michael Scudamore. So yeah, you'll be able to see it all over the website and read up about the pedigree and see the point-to-point video as well.
You're in some capable hands there. You know, you're going first time into this thing of a racing syndicate, and you're in the capable hands of Lucinda Russell and the Scudamores. That must be brilliant for competition winners, for shareholders, and for yourself.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. We're already planning our first kind of members open day at the yard, which will be happening in September. So no, they've been good, lots of help. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, and obviously competition winners get a cap as well that you're wearing now. I'm very jealous. I wish I had one myself. We'll be running the competition after our Saturday Live this week, so on the Saturday of the July Cup. So tune into our Saturday Live to hear more from Cam as he'll be on to give a little promotion and maybe a winner from the weekend as well. And we'll start the competition from there. Fingers crossed as Harry's there doing that. It'll be very similar to our last competition. Full details will be explained, and I'm sure a promotion video that we'll be doing on our TikTok as well. So make sure to tune in there.
It's all free as well.
Free. It's all free. It's cheap as chips. It is free to go into this one. So yeah, make sure to stick around. Look out for details, and we'll let you know as soon as you can get involved in this competition. 3 shares in a new racehorse with a Grand National winning owner with Lucinda Russell as well. What more can you ask for? A fantastic competition. Make sure you get involved when that starts on Saturday after our Saturday Live, which you all tune into at 10:30. Lee, before we finish.
Yeah, look, we'll start a new column with Which Bookie as well. So we're doing a Only Fools of Horses Trixie every day, so Monday to Friday. So go and check out Which Bookie, and you'll see our Trixie each day as well. So the lads have already had a couple of winning selections on there, and hopefully we can keep the good momentum going. So we've got Which Bookie column. We've also got the Claymore Racing giveaway, which will start on Saturday as well. We've got plenty of upcoming stuff with the Only Fools of Horses team, so stay tuned.
We could have had 2 profitable days as well. This is the annoying thing. We had excuses, all 3 of us, yesterday. We had 2 seconds again. And it's just...
Stop making excuses, just on to the next one. That's
we just need to keep winning.
Just back winners, Harry. It's very,
very
simple.
The summer jumps. No more flat. Summer jumps all the way.
No, lovely stuff. It's a good column, and hopefully we can continue firing in the winners in. That's all we've got time for the Saturday preview. Make sure to tune in on our Saturday Live. I said Saturday preview, but it's the weekend preview with the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday stuff. We've got a Saturday Live on Twitter at 10:30 a.m. Make sure to tune in there with the competition as well. If you're having a bet, please do gamble responsibly, and we'll see you very, very soon.